Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having I hope you had an amazing day, and I hope you had an amazing night. My name is Gabriel Borges. This is my channel. Welcome. This is my third live stream doing this. So if you guys like it, I appreciate you give a like and subscribe for more. So the topic of this video slash live stream today is on why WWE sucks as a company right now, both inside the ring and behind the scenes, and how to possibly save it. Now, there's going to be two parts throughout in this live stream. So I'm going to talk about why is struggling right now, why WWE is in a bad situation right now, and why people think WWE suck right now. And the second part is me on explaining how to possibly save WWE. So, so let's get into the list. So, the first thing I want to point out on why WWE sucks as a company right now is the lack of communication. So recently, there's been some controversy about WWE superstars like not doing their Twitch, not doing Cameo. Basically, if they don't delete and cancel their Twitch, their Cameo, their TikTok, their YouTube channel, then they were gonna get fined, suspended, or even fired. And there has been a lot of negative backlash. Even with Andrew Yang, like even Andrew Yang, and keep in mind, Andrew, if people for the people that don't know who Andrew Yang is, he was one of the people who tried to run for the United, who tried to run for president for the United States. He literally tried to run for president this year. He's literally one of the most noticeable political figures right now. And he even called out on this practice. Now, it turned out a couple of days later that WWE superstars and personnel can keep their Twitch and Cameo and TikTok and YouTube and all that, but they can use their character names. Like for example, AJ Styles can use like AJ Styles, but he can use Alan Jones. But at the time, wrestlers didn't know about that. They didn't know all the details. So there is like a state of panic, and even the people like didn't know the details. So of course there was a lot of negative backlash. So they WWE weren't like clarifying. They didn't give out all the details, and I thought that was very unprofessional by WWE. Extremely unprofessional. Like if you're going to pull out a message like that, bring out all the details. Okay, if you're going to say like if you're gonna use like Twitch and Cameo and TikTok and YouTube like that, you can use it, but use your real names. Don't use the character names. So, but the wrestlers didn't know that. They didn't know that. So how the hell were they supposed to know? You didn't give them all the details. You didn't give them all the details. And that is a major problem with WWE right now. And not just this practice alone, but just like in general, especially lately. And that is the fact that WWE has a lack of communication. And it's all up because of one man, Vince McMahon. And there's also another point that I want to point out that goes with the general consensus with the lack of communication, and that's the last minute shows. Like you see these people on creative working hard, like trying to get this show ready, like days before, like the day of, and then everything gets changed last minute. That's why we have these half-ass shows on both Raw and SmackDown. They're not that special anymore. There's no wow factor. That's why so many hardcore wrestling fans are leaving WWE. And there's literally reports and reports. And this doesn't happen once. This happens over a couple of weeks. It's literally normal at this point, and it shouldn't be normal. These shows should be planned out. When these just out of wrestling, let's take wrestling out of the situation. When celebrities put like try to make shows for people, when singers and stuff like that, like do you think that they would do make a like create a show last minute? Do you really think they would do that? No, because if they do, then they're taking a major risk, and more than likely it would be half-assed, and the show would not be special or memorable because it was half-assed because it wasn't planned from the beginning. And that's the problem with WWE. Most notably, Vince McMahon, because instead of letting the creative team, because they already have everything planned out, instead of letting the show plan out that way, Vince McMahon is like, no, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this, I don't like that, I'm gonna change it, I'm gonna create the show myself. Bro, if you're going to do that, then what's the point of the creative team? What's the point of them doing trying to create the shows if they know that it's going to be pointless in the end? What's the point of having a creative team if you're not going to use them properly? My God, it just pisses me off. Like, just to think, like, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep my cool. I'm trying to be professional, but just come on, man. Like, you the creative team is there for a reason. Use them. Use them. Okay? Please use them. They're there for a reason. Okay? Just let the show play out. They already got the show done. They already got the format down. Like, Vince McMahon doesn't even have to do much. Vince McMahon doesn't even have to do much. The creative team is there to make the shows. Okay? And Vince is just there to approve them. Okay? Maybe it's understandable that maybe Vince doesn't like a segment or something, or maybe this matchup has gone on way too long. But don't like redo the entire show, because if you have access, if you just create it on the day of, then the show is going to be half-assed. The show is not going to be special. The show is not going to be memorable, because that's what makes Raw so special. That's what makes Raw and SmackDown so special back in the day. That's what makes NXT so special now. That's what makes AEW so special now. Because they already have this stuff planned. They already have this stuff planned. They're putting the creative team to good use. And they're making these shows memorable. They're making these shows fun. They are not half-assing it. Why? Because they care. They want to produce the best television. And I feel like WWE hasn't been doing that lately because of Vince, like, just remaking the script. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You have the creative team. They already got the format down. If you want to change one segment, fine. Do you want to change, like, maybe the time, like, if a match was, like, too long and you want to make it just a little bit shorter, then fine. But don't redo the entire show. That is just ridiculous. Like, come on. It's the creative team. Like, there's no way they make a shitty format. Maybe a mistake here or there, or maybe one unnecessary thing. But, like, I bet you the format is not all bad. not all bad to the point that Vince McMahon has to create the entire damn script. That is ridiculous. Freaking ridiculous. Now, let's continue. The same matches, especially lately, we have been seeing the same matches over and over and over again with the same people over and over and over again, and it gets repetitive. It gets annoying and boring to see the same people fight over and over and over again. Like, you have a big roster. Use them. Use them. Like, if you're in a big storyline, like, for example, Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio. It's a good storyline. I like it. Like Rey Mysterio, like Seth. I like what they're doing right now. But it's going from like memorable to like, and because they keep giving us the same matches over and over and over again. Like just a couple months ago, we kept seeing matches of like Seth Rollins versus Humberto Carrillo. The next week, Seth Rollins versus Aleister Black. The next week, Murphy versus Aleister Black. The next week, Seth Rollins versus Humberto Carrillo again. And then the next week, like, you get my drift. They keep doing the same matches, the same variations over and over again. And you have a big roster. A big roster. Show us some variety. Show us some variety. And even merge some storylines together. Like, for example, make Big E and Kofi Kingston are in a feud. Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio are in a feud. And just for tonight only, Kofi Kingston goes one-on-one against Seth Rollins. And it's just like, like, come on, guys. You got a big roster. Utilize them correctly. Please. Utilize them. Stop giving us the same matches over and over and over again. It gets repetitive. It gets boring. And if you give us the same matches over and over and over again, then it's going to give us some boring television. Okay? Give us some variety. Please give us some variety. Okay. Now, the next point I want to come across is giving the same people same opportunities. Now, this is not exactly all bad. Like, we got people like Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, hell, like him or hate him, Roman Reigns, like, all these superstars, hell, even Brock Lesnar, like, we all wanted them to be champions at one point, and it was great the first time around. But again, they keep giving the same opportunities to the same people over and over and over again. Instead of freshening things up and giving opportunities to new superstars, which is crazy. Like, once again, WWE has a big roster. So instead of giving us the same people, give us new, fresh faces. Like, for example, like Seth Rollins, he just won the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. This is just an example, guys. It's just an example. This is not real. This is not happening on television. So Seth Rollins just won the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. Okay? So instead of facing like the same people over and over again, have like fight like Cesaro. Like, he never had any opportunities. Or Chad Gable. Or Shelton Benjamin. Or any member of the Hurt Business. Or like, come on, man. You have a big roster. Give us some variety. Don't give the same people the same opportunities. Because again, it's going to be repetitive, it's going to be boring, and it's going to translate to boring, repetitive television. That is what is going to damage and tame the company. Like, WWE needs to learn to, they need to grow some cojones and explore. Like, try out some people. Like, check to see if this, like, do experiments. Like, check to see if this superstar is a draw or this superstar is a draw. And if this superstar is a draw, book them. Book them to be a main event player or maybe a mid card player. Or if the experiment doesn't work, then don't push him anymore. Exactly. But we haven't seen this kind of mentality for the last couple of years. They just kept pushing the same people over and over and over again. And the people who deserve to be pushed are not getting pushed, and it's just WWE has a problem with variety, which WWE desperately needs right now. Like 100% desperately needs right now. Okay, now to the next point. Basically, every title being devalued, unless it's the WWE Championship or like the Universal Championship or the Raw or SmackDown Women's Championships. The Intercontinental Championship, the United States Championship, the Raw Tag Team Championships, the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. And the 24/7 Championship. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the 4 other titles are the main titles. You got 10 titles, and only 4 of them feel important. Guys, WWE, come on, guys. Like, these championships should be important. Every single championship should be prestigious and should be important. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. What they have been doing with the WWE Championship, the Universal Championship, and the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship, I thought they've been doing a great job with those. Like, they're still as important, they're still as prestigious. But with all the other titles I just mentioned, the IC title, the United States title, the tag team titles, there's always a problem with them. Like the Intercontinental and the United States Championships. Only just recently that they've been giving like storylines for those titles. But before, like, they used to not showcase them at all. Or if they do, they usually put them in pre-show matches or like opening shows. Guys, answer me this. When was the last time that you thought the WWE Intercontinental Championship was prestigious? When was the last time the United States Championship was prestigious? When was the last time the Tag Team Championships were prestigious? You can say, I bet you it's a long time ago, and I bet you has not been in a span of these last couple of years. And it's a shame, because think of all the people who held these titles. Like, for example, the Intercontinental Championship. Likes like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Likes like The Rock. Likes like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. The Macho Man. Randy Savage. Ric Flair. All these legends who held the Intercontinental Championship. It should be one of the most prestigious titles in all of WWE. One of the most prestigious. But it hasn't been given the respect it deserved for the last couple of years. Other than the AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, and Jeff Hardy feud that's been going on recently, which has made the Intercontinental Championship situation very unique. Like, Other than that situation, when was the last time the Intercontinental Championship has been important? You probably don't remember. You probably don't remember. Probably say around 2005, 2006. Some of you might debate maybe in the Attitude Era or the new generation where people like Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect, Shawn Michaels all held the Intercontinental Championship. Because at that time, I say that the Intercontinental Championship was at the most prestigious. You have people like Bret the Hitman Hart versus Mr. Perfect at SummerSlam sealing the show. You have the Intercontinental Championship main eventing SummerSlam. Remember the matchup between Bret the Hitman Hart and the British Bulldog fighting for the IC title in the main event for SummerSlam? Tell me this. When was the last time a mid-card title has main evented a pay-per-view? You don't remember, other than maybe a couple matches in the Attitude Era, or maybe some in the Ruthless Aggression Era, or maybe the New Generation Era. Okay, but like you haven't been seeing that. Like it's like over the like for the last couple of years, the titles have been getting devalued and devalued and devalued, and that shouldn't be the case. Every championship should be prestigious. You know what's a perfectly good example of a company that is doing this very well? New Japan Pro Wrestling. Over there, every championship is important. Every championship is important, from the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship to even the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. Every title, from the World Heavyweight title to the Intercontinental title to the United States title, like all these titles in the East right now are extremely important. Why? Because they focus on the prestige. Of course, it's important to build up the prestige of the World Championship, but it's also important to build up the prestige of the IC title or the United States title. Because, first of all, they can be just as important as as a world championship. Like I said, all the people who held the Intercontinental Champion, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Mr. Perfect, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Macho Man Randy Savage, all these people made the championship prestigious. And keep in mind, all those people that I just said went on to become main event players, to become main event superstar. Before these superstars, before The Rock became the WWE champion, before Stone Cold Steve Austin became a main event player, before all these superstars became a main event player, they made the mid-card titles important. Okay? All the reason why the titles are so prestigious because of the people, the names who held the title, who went on to become main event players. These titles, the IC title, the United States title, the tag team title, all these titles should be respected. Should be respected because you, WWE, devaluing these championships basically devalue every single superstar's hard work. You're basically devaluing The Rock's hard work as when he was Intercontinental Champion. You're devaluing Stone Cold Steve Austin's work when he was Intercontinental Champion. You're devaluing Shawn Michaels' work, Bret Hart's work, Mr. Perfect's work, all those people that made the Intercontinental Championship great. You're devaluing. You're taming because the situation, because what you like. Do you see where I'm getting at here? Do you really see what I'm getting at here? Like these titles should be important again. They really, really need to be just as important as the world championships. Possibly even more. Because imagine the Intercontinental Championship, if done correctly, being in the likes of Cesaro or Chad Gable or like a Shinsuke Nakamura and like all that. Like, and them defending it like every single week. Or but not like every single week, but like letting them like be a fighting champion. Like, come on. Please. I want like the titles like the IC title, the United States title, the tag team. I want these championships to be important again. I want them to be important again. Because they are then, they should be now. Okay. Now, next point. Lack of pushing and even using new stars. Now, this goes to by like using the same people with the same opportunities. I'm gonna like people like Cesaro, people like Chad Gable, people like Shinsuke Nakamura, people like Kalisto and the Lucha House Party, like people like that, like Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, like you need you like you need to push new stars. You really do. Because the people who are in the front line now are not going to be there forever. And if you don't push these new stars, if you don't push the next generation of superstars, then your company is going to struggle. It is going to struggle because people like Seth Rollins, people like Roman Reigns, people like Randy Orton and Edge who are at their and Rey Mysterio who are on their last legs. Okay, people like Bayley, Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte. As much as I love all of them, all four of those ladies, these people are not going to be in the front lines forever. They're not going to be your main event players forever. Brock Lesnar, he's not going to be there forever. You need to push as many people as possible. You need to push the next generation. You need to showcase people like Cesaro, like Chad Gable, like Shinsuke Nakamura, like Ricochet, like Cedric Alexander, like Apollo Crews. All these people need to be showcased. Why? Because they are your next generation. They are the next generation. These are the next generation that is going to make your company prestigious. Okay? Like I said, the people that are in the front lines, they're not going to be there forever. And once they're gone, and if you don't have any more stars, what's next? What's next? You're going to start off from ground zero? They should already be pushed. Already. Like, once all the players like Charlotte, Sasha, Becky, Seth, Roman, Randy, Edge, Rizir, once they're all gone, you need to make sure that you're ready. You need to make sure that you have guys that are already pushed like Cesaro, like all those people. Because if not, then you're gonna have to start from ground zero. And it's not going to be the same. Like it is possible to start over, but it's not going to be the same. And you don't even know if it's going to work. So why take the risk? You have a large roster, like book them correctly now. Showcase them now. Experiment them with now. Okay? To see like, oh man, like these people, they're not gonna be here Like people like Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Charlotte, Becky, Sasha. They're not going to be here forever. They're not going to be here forever. We need to experiment. We need to build new stars. We need to make the next generation legit. Okay? We need to make them legit. You guys need to experiment. You guys need to push new stars. You need to, for the sake of your company, and especially at the state that you're at now, WWE. At this point, you need to push new stars. For the sake of your company, you need to push new stars. Okay? So, next one. Not really listening to your fan base. Now, don't get me wrong. There are people that complain just to complain. And yes, there are people out there. But there are way more people that give constructive criticism. Constructive criticism. People that help you. People that try to help your company. Okay? And there's people that literally have podcasts like this. People like Solomonster. People like Just Alex. Like people like the bot guy. Like even controversial people like JD and Joe Crowan. All these people have constructive criticism. Okay? To try to help your company. To try to help your company. And there are many more people around the world that are literally trying to give you constructive criticism on trying to make the company better. But you don't listen. You don't listen. And when you do listen, you don't like when you do it, like you don't appreciate our help. You feel like when you push someone that we as the fans, we as the audience want you guys to push, you do it because we're forcing you to do it. No, you should be happy that we're giving you constructive criticism. You should be happy that loyal fans like me and Solo Monster and Just Alex and all these people around the world, you should be happy that people still care about your company. You should be glad. You should be blessed. You should be grateful that there's still people that, despite all the people that quit on your company because of shitty storylines and not listening to us on the people that we want pushed. You should be blessed. You should be grateful that you even got people like me, like Solomonster and Just Alex and JD and all those people, and the people that still watch your product. There's a lot of people that already gave up on you. There has been a lot of people that just went on to other promotions or just give up on pro wrestling altogether because it can't be saved. And you need to listen to the fans. You need to listen to constructive criticism. And whatever the majority of the fans agree on and we give to you, do it. Listen to the fans because at the end of the day, we give you money. It is because of us, the fans, that makes your show special. It is because of us, the fans, that the WWE Empire is still alive. Okay, I feel like that we, the fans, haven't gotten the respect we deserve. That we have been ignored time and time again. And when they do listen to us, it is in spite of us, instead of being grateful that we're giving them bunch of money and a bunch of support because they listen to us. Okay? I thought the WWE universe was supposed to be special. And back in the day, it was. It was special. The WWE universe was a group of people coming together, loving your product. And if we didn't, then we as a collective whole will show you what we like and what we don't like. Okay? We, the WWE Universe, had made moments special. Okay? We, as the WWE Universe, should get the respect it deserves. Listen to the fans. Listen to the constructive criticism. Because at the state that you're in right now, you need to listen to the fans. Because, like I said, you are lucky you still have people like me. You're lucky you still have people that watch garbage of a product right now. At one point, me, my brother, and my sister used to watch wrestling every single week. We wouldn't miss it for the world. Why? Because we love it. There was a time that we were excited to go to wrestling events. But now that's not the case anymore. My brother, he barely watched wrestling anymore. I don't even know if he watches wrestling anymore. I think he gave up altogether. And my sister, she rarely watches this anymore. Like she does, like she rarely even knows what the storyline, what's going on with the storyline. She always asks me what's going on. Like, I'm the only one left standing, still watching your product 24/7. And trust me, it has not been fun. It has been torture. Yes, it has been good things here and there. Don't get me wrong. But overall, your shows have been nothing but trash, have been nothing but garbage, have been nothing but boring. Okay? Please, for the sake of your company, for the sake of the people watching your product, listen to the fans. Listen to the constructive criticism we give you. And do you want your hardcore fan base to come back? Do you want people to come back? Do you want WWE to beat this huge conglomerate again? Then start listening to the fans. Because at the end of the day, we are the ones that keep your company going. If it wasn't for us, you guys would already be out of business. And that's not an opinion. That is a fact. So for the sake that you're at right now, start listening to the fans. For the sake of your company, start listening to the fans. Moving on. Next one. Not doing your own thing. See, sometimes instead of, and this is another problem with WWE, you're not being creative. You're not being creative. You're just doing things just to do things. Nothing's planned out, nothing's long term, and nothing stands out. Nothing is creative anymore. Like, there's a few things here and there. Like, for example, Randy and Drew, I like what they're doing. Seth and Ray, despite some downs, are having a great story. I thought that's interesting. The Strowman, Bray Wyatt, Alexa Bliss thing, I thought that's interesting. And the recently, like, Roman heel turn, which, by the way, we have been asking for 6 damn years. We have been asking for a Roman Reigns heel turn since 2013. Since 2013. It took you 6 to 8 years to finally listen to us. 6 to 8 years. But I don't know. So yeah, that's the thing. You're not doing your own thing. Like, perfect example. NXT. NXT. It is so, first of all, the show is so better than Raw and SmackDown. Why? Because they're not doing things just for ratings. They're not doing things just to make the sponsors happy. They're not doing things because it's not entertaining enough. NXT is doing their own thing. They're sticking with the long-term storytelling and only do special stuff if it's necessary for the storyline. Okay? It is doing its own thing. Okay? It is doing its own thing. And that is something Raw and SmackDown and the main event creative team needs to learn from Triple H and the NXT creative team. Like, nothing is scripted. Like, the promos are not scripted. And bro, we will get to that in a second. Okay? But nothing is as creative anymore. And because Vince McMahon clearly is out of touch. And, like, they need to do their own thing. They need to have long-term booking. They need to do it just for the plans and only do important stuff if it's necessary for the storylines. Okay? So that's all I got to say about that. Next up, superstars being restricted in both wrestling and their character. Like, these superstars don't have a say on what's going on. They don't have a say on their character. They don't have a say on their storyline. It's here, there you go. Yeah, and if you don't do that, then you're going to be in big trouble. Okay? Make this work. Excuse me, my bad. So, like, yeah, they don't have any say. So it just makes the characters one-dimensional. Okay, let me give you an example. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Literally, Stone Cold Steve Austin. All the stuff that he did during the Attitude Era. Like, he definitely had a say in that. The beer bath, like, I'm sure he had a say in that. Like, all those segments of Stone Cold Steve Austin trying to make Vince McMahon's life a living hell. I'm sure he had a say in that. Another perfect good example, The Undertaker. Like, back in the day, like when Vince and creative was trying to figure out a character for Mark Calloway, I'm sure The Undertaker had a say, okay, in becoming the dead man. And you know what made, and look at Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker now. They are literally megastars. Megastars. Not just in professional wrestling, but in pop culture as a whole, because they were able to do their own thing. WWE has been restricting superstars, and you're wondering why they don't have megastars, because they're not letting superstars be themselves. They always have to restrict them with certain things, And that's why they always fall flat, because you don't let them have a say. You don't let them be themselves. And that's why, like with promos, like that's why promos are not that special anymore. Because you give them scripted shit instead of letting them be themselves. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, The Undertaker, Triple H, Cactus Jack, all these superstars are successful and are literally known in professional wrestling and in pop culture as a whole because they were able to do their own thing, because nothing was scripted, nothing was restricted. Okay? They were given a narrative. Like they were given a narrative by the creative team and they just did their thing. Just make it work. Just have this narrative and make it work. I don't know how you're going to do it, but just do it. What happened to the good old days of just letting these superstars doing their own thing? I don't see that nowadays. It's just Vince McMahon. Just like nowadays, Vince McMahon is just like letting these people like be people that they're not. Like, let them be themselves. Let them be themselves. And I promise you, you're gonna get a megastar. Let me give you another example. MJF. Maxwell Jacob Freeman. Okay? He is right now considered to be the best heel of the modern era. You know why? Because he is able to do his own thing. He is not restricted. All his promos, everything that he does, like, that's what makes the MJF character work. Because the person is able to create the character in his own way, in his own image. Like, and that's what makes MJF successful. That's why people consider MJF as one of the best in the world right now. One of the best. Okay? There is no like negative about him. And if it is negative, then more than like the day that MJF does something wrong is the day that Armageddon happens. Because him as a character is perfect. He is being himself. He's portraying the character his own way. Now imagine if MJF was in WWE and he was being restricted. And not many people would think that he is the man that he is right now. Not many people think that he is the best right now. Instead of people thinking that he is the best, people would think that he's underrated or like not care about him at all. But it's because of MJF's character being unrestricted is why MJF as a character is so successful. And they need to stop restricting these superstars. Instead of creative team and Vince McMahon trying to figure out characters for them, let the superstars figure it out for themselves. Okay? And then once they have an idea and they portray the idea to you, and I'm sure there's like auditions and stuff like that, like giving them like ideas, like, come on, man. Stop restricting these superstars. Let them be themselves. End the scripted promos. Okay? Let them have a say in storyline. Let them have a say in their character development. Okay? Because I promise you, If you do that, then you're going to get some megastars. Trust me. You're gonna get some megastars if you let them be themselves. Okay. Next. Hold on, guys. Gotta clean my nose real quick. Whew. My goodness. My nose, man. Okay. And the last thing I want to point out is superstars not getting pushed because of stupid decisions. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Cesaro, because they just keep downplaying him. Shinsuke Nakamura, because he can't speak English. Really? Rusev, because he can't speak that much English either, even though he can. And listen to this. Like okay. So remembers Rusev's when he first came to WWE? Remember that? He was on a dominant role. Like, he was a beast. Okay? He was destroying people left and right. But after that year of domination, his push ended. You want to know why? Because Rusev had a haircut. And Vince McMahon didn't like this at all. So he decided to punish him. All because he had a fucking haircut. What the hell? Let me give you a couple of more examples. Okay? Paul London. Remember him? Yeah. He was one of my favorite cruiserweights back in like 2005, 2004-ish. Okay? He was one of the best. He had the Cruiserweight Championship. He was having an amazing tag team run with the Brian Kendrick. Literally one of the most underrated tag teams of all time. You want to know why he's not that remembered in WWE? Because he got buried. And you want to know why he got buried? Well, let me tell you this. Remember the Royal Rumble 2005? I believe it was 2005. Yeah, 2005. Remember the Royal Rumble 2005? Paul London was in that match, right? And Paul London was going to get eliminated. So remember Gene Snitsky clotheslined the hell out of Paul London? Paul London doing that, selling it so well, just like oh my God, Paul London sell that clothesline so well. And that part alone was one of the highlights of the whole night. As a matter of fact, they're still using that clip for Royal Rumble intros, like nowadays. They're still using that. And because that was the highlight, and because Paul London sold so incredibly well, basically doing his job, Vince McMahon decided to punish him by making him a jump. You heard me correctly. Because Paul London was doing his fucking job, he got punished. This is ridiculous, man. That just pisses me off. Paul London, which could have been a great mid-carder for you guys, had a bright future ahead of him, and you bury him. Why? Because he was doing his job incredibly well? I'm still very salty about that. But there's instances like this. There's instances like this. Shinsuke Nakamura because he can't speak English. Rusev because he had a fucking haircut. And I know there's a couple of examples, but those are the couples that just came in mind. But just people not getting pushes because of stupid decisions. like this. Like, not because they're doing a bad, like there's people like getting buried. There's people getting punished. Not because they're doing a bad job, not because they're bad in the ring, but because they can't speak a certain language, because they can't do a small thing by having a haircut, or even doing your job correctly and well. And that the example that I have with Paul London, it happens today. Chad Gable. Every time I see him in the ring, he mostly does a great job. He is a great wrestler. Doesn't get rewarded. Cesaro has been working his ass off and has proven to be a main event player. Doesn't reward him. Matter of fact, they just keep him in freaking limbo, being a tag team specialist, instead of going for the Intercontinental Championship or going for the Universal or WWE Championships. Like, my God, man. These are superstars, WWE superstars, that can work their ass off. People like Ricochet, people like Cedric Alexander, people like Apollo Crews, okay? People like that who work their ass off, who give out great performances. Mustafa Ali, which I can argue is one of the best wrestlers that you have right now, and you haven't awarded him shit. Maybe you awarded him with a WWE Championship title shot, but he got injured. Like, but ever since he came back, you haven't awarded him. Matter of fact, you made him a jobber again. Okay, and I know people are gonna watch this video saying like, "Oh, you're just complaining. Stop complaining to just keep complaining, man." These are actual issues that are happening in WWE right now. These are issues that are devaluing WWE right now, and I feel like if these issues do not get addressed, then they're gonna keep doing the same shit. And the company that we love, the company that I and many people grew up watching, will be going out of business. And that would be heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. Especially for me, because I have been a fan of WWE ever since I was a kid. Okay. I'm a fan of professional wrestling in general because of WWE. But they have problems that need to be addressed. And if they do not be addressed, then they're going to keep doing the same shit. They're going to struggle. Ratings are going to plummet. And overall, the company is going to suffer and eventually go out of business. I don't want them to end up like that. I don't want them to end up like Impact Wrestling. Okay. At one time, Impact Wrestling was TNA, and it was one of the hottest promotions out there. It went from this big company to now this another small indie company. Why? Because in their final years, they have made stupid decisions as well that made TNA have its downfall. I don't want that to happen with WWE. I do not. Because ending up like Impact Wrestling is the worst case scenario. Considering that WWE is supposed to be a corporate giant. Okay, how embarrassing it would be that you're a corporate giant and you end up with a small crowd with like a few hundred people in a small venue. Okay, do you want to end up like that, WWE? You may not be thinking that now because, oh, you're billionaires. I got all this fucking money, baby. Well, guess what? You may have all this money right now. You may be billionaires right now. But that money is going to run dry. It is going to eventually run out. Okay? And you're going to rely, because we give you money, we give you support. And you guys have been giving us a shitty product with a lot of problems. And if you guys at WWE do not get your shit together, then people are not going to give you guys money anymore because it's going to be pointless and worth it. And you're going to end up being Impact Wrestling. You are going to be what you hate. Or you might even go out of business like WCW. Remember WCW in their final years? They've been making stupid decisions left and right. And it died a horrible death. Okay? And right now, WWE is WCW 2.0. And if they cannot get their shit together, then they're going to struggle. And they're going to probably run out of business. So that was part one on why WWE sucks as a company right now from inside the ring and behind the scenes. So now that I got all the negative parts out of the way, now we're going to get to part two on how to save WWE and how to make WWE better. Okay, let's get to the list. Number one, the first thing to do to save WWE is to fire Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Now, don't get me wrong. Okay, Vince McMahon has done a lot for the wrestling business. It's because of Vince McMahon that we have that wrestling has been famous in the first place. It's because of Vince McMahon that he put wrestling in pop culture, that made wrestling famous in pop culture. It is because of Vince McMahon that we had amazing storylines like Austin versus McMahon. He has produced great storylines in the past. And he has proven time and time again that when his back against the wall, he can produce great content. He can produce great shit. Okay? But that's why he won the Monday Night Wars. But now he lost his edge, man. He doesn't have what it takes anymore. As a matter of fact, he's actually hurting his own company. The creator is literally become the destroyer. He doesn't have what it takes anymore. Like I said, last minute shows, lack of communication, punishing superstars who are just doing their jobs, all these things, Vince McMahon not even listening to the fans anymore. Vince McMahon, the person who made WWE, is now becoming a cancer in WWE. He has become a cancer. He needs to be fired. He needs to step down as chairman. For the sake of WWE. If you want WWE to survive, you have to make the sacrifice, Vince. You need to step down as chairman. You don't have what it takes anymore. I'm sorry, you just don't have what it takes anymore. You don't. You really don't. Thank you for the contributions that you have given to professional wrestling. Okay? Because you deserve all the respect in the world. Like you said, you made wrestling famous. Okay? You made wrestling mainstream. Okay? You turned a lot of people who didn't even like wrestling to like wrestling fans for a time. Like you had people in high schools wearing NWO and D Generation X shirts because they cared. Okay? But I'm sorry. You're just a human. You're killing your own company. Vince, I love you. Thank you for your contributions, but you need to step down. You don't know what people like me and the people of modern day wrestling fans want anymore. You don't know what we want. And when we do give you feedback, when you do, like, you just ignore us. You just ignore us because you don't care about us anymore. You only care about yourself. You lost your way, Vince. You don't have what it takes anymore. I love you, Vince. Okay, I don't hate you. I I'm always be a fan of you, Vince. Like, thank you for your contributions. I'm very blessed. I'm very grateful. But you need to step down. You don't have what it takes anymore. You don't. And if you want your company to flourish again, you need to start off with the first step and step down as chairman for the sake of your company. Please. As a fan of your company, as a fan ever since I was a little kid, please step down and give it to your son-in-law, Triple H. Because the next thing on my list is we need Triple H in charge. Now let me tell you why. Actually, I'm just gonna give you one reason. One reason alone. It has 3 letters. NXT. Let me say it again. NXT. One more time. NXT. Okay? Triple H has proven that he can run a perfect company because he has run a perfect show. Okay? Ever since NXT came on as a developmental wrestling show, Triple H made NXT special. He made takeovers special. He knows what the fans want. Okay? He knows what the fans want. He does his own things. He makes interesting storylines that we haven't seen before. And or storylines that are revisited and that are better altogether. He makes all the NXT championships important. He makes every takeover important. He makes every takeover important. He makes every match important. Every match makes sense. Most of the storylines are intriguing to the point that you're not just like excited for like the main superstars and the main storylines, but he also makes you care about the smaller storylines and the mid-card people. He cares about everyone, from the main event players to the mid-carders. Okay? He makes the championships important. He makes the superstars important. He makes the takeovers important. He makes the storylines important. He makes the characters important. He listens to the fans. Okay? He does his own thing. He is creative as hell, okay? And he lets he lets his superstars have a voice in character development and storylines. Just some of the things alone. That's why NXT is so special. That's why NXT is better than Raw and SmackDown and has been better than Raw and SmackDown ever since episode 1 of NXT. Okay? You had people before they were ruining the main roster. You had people like Sami Zayn, who has been the underdog of NXT. You had people like Samoa Joe, like Kevin Owens, like Shinsuke Nakamura, who was a fucking megastar. Was a megastar. You had people like Charlotte, Bayley, Sasha. It was because of Triple H that we have the women's revolution. It was because of Triple H and Triple H giving the women the showcase that they need, that we have the women's division. Okay? It was because of Triple H. It is because of Triple H that these women like Asuka, Bayley, Sasha, like all these women now, they are all important. And these women programs are also extremely important. You know why? Because of Triple H. Because they showcase the women. Because Triple H knows that these women are just as talented as the men. Okay? He created the women's revolution. Okay? Some of the things that I just point out really goes to show why Triple H needs to be in charge of WWE. Because he still has this mentality now. NXT is still just as special. NXT is still better than Raw and SmackDown. Okay? Like everything that NXT is doing right now, the main roster desperately needs right now. And imagine the storylines on NXT, the character development on NXT, the championship being prestigious, the pay-per-views being important as hell. Imagine the entire mentality of NXT being applied to the main roster. That will make WWE programming, main roster programming, 10 times better. 10 times better. Okay? Triple H, if you want to save this company, please let Triple H be in charge and let him do his own thing. Because what he's doing in NXT, he's doing everything right. He is doing everything right. Yeah, there's things here and there that they can work on, but not every company's perfect. But overall, everything Triple H and the creative team are doing, what Triple H is doing, what Shawn Michaels is doing, what Road Dogg is doing, what Albert is doing, they're doing everything right. Everything. And keep in mind, Raw and SmackDown has been around for a long time. NXT has been around for like 8-9 years-ish. And NXT is literally a better show than Raw or SmackDown. There's literally better than the shows that have been around for a long period of time. Okay? That shouldn't be happening. Okay? The entire mentality of NXT needs to be applied to the main roster because the main roster needs it desperate. So, that's that. So, the next thing on my list, and this is for right now, currently, right now, end the brand split. Okay? End it. Okay? You clearly released so many superstars. Okay? And there's still a couple of superstars that are out right now. Okay? So, like, the tag team division on both Raw and SmackDown, they're lackluster at best because you got about like 2 teams on Raw, 3 teams on SmackDown. That's it. But imagine if you end the brand split and combine the tag team division. Instead of having 2 or 3 in one brand, you have like 5. Okay, so for example, Monday Night Raw has 2 teams, the Street Profits and Andrade and Angel Garza and like the War Raiders. On SmackDown, they got Cesaro and Nakamura, the Lucha House Party, like Heavy Machinery, and that's it. You could say like Miz and Morrison, I don't know, but imagine if you ended the brand split and merged the tag team division. Now you got like 5 teams. You got the Street Profits. You got the War Raiders. You got Andrade and Angel Garza. You got the Lucha House Party. You got Heavy Machinery. You get more variety. And plus, it makes everything different. It gives us variety. It gives us a difference. And imagine the Hurt Business join the tag team division, or like Ricochet and Cedric Alexander, or Miz and John Morrison. Like, you got all these tag teams, okay? And you don't got much right now. So if you want to make the tag team division special again, start off with step 1, merge the tag team division. And if it gets to the point that you got too many tag teams, then do the brand split again. But you don't have that many tag teams right now. So merge the tag team divisions. Okay? Same thing with the women. You need to merge the women's division. Okay? So that way, like I said with the tag team division, it was more variety. Okay? Just like who's tired of seeing Nikki Cross fighting for Bayley SmackDown Women's Championship over and over and over again? I don't. It's too repetitive. Once or sometimes twice is enough. Is enough. I don't want to see the matchup 10 freaking times because it gets repetitive, it gets boring, and it makes me want to use the bathroom while seeing the match. Okay? You get so much benefit if you just merge the tag team and women's division together. And considering that we're in a pandemic and you don't have many superstars in each roster right now, combine and the brand split, combine the rosters. And if you do, and if you have a great creative team, there you go. Your show would be more interesting. It would have more variety. It would give superstars that don't usually get opportunities more opportunities. Because you're apparently like doing a terrible job with the brand split, and you don't have that many superstars. And the brand split, merge everything together. You will get a lot of benefit from it if you just merge. Okay? And the brand split. Okay? So, the next thing on my list, build new stars. Okay? We go from earlier in the video. Don't push the same people over and over and over again. You need to make new stars. You need to make new stars. You need to push a Chad Gable, a Cesaro, a Nakamura, a Kalisto, a Grand Metalik, a Lindsay Dorado, a Mustafa Ali, a Bobby Lashley, a Cedric Alexander, a Ricochet. You need to push new stars. Because if you keep pushing the same people, and if they're gone, you're not going to have that many stars. You're not going to have any stars at all because you didn't push them earlier. Get it out of the way and build new stars. Build them up. So that way, when that generation leaves, you already got the next generation ready to go. There's no risk factor. You don't have to worry if this is going to fail or not. Why? Because with a good creative team, you already build up the next generation of wrestlers. So there's that. Build new stars. Next up on my list. God, my nose hates me. Make the mid-card and tag team championships important again. We need to make these titles important again, okay? Because we need to make the Intercontinental Championship important again. We need to make the United States Championship important again. We need to make the tag team divisions important again. We need to make these mid-card and tag team titles important again. Why? Because you can build. That's the easiest way to know if someone's a main event player or not. That is a perfect way to build up the next generation of superstars. That's why mid-card titles are there, to make sure that they're ready for the main event. Okay? We need to make these titles important again. Hell, make a tag team championship match the main event of a pay-per-view, like SummerSlam or Survivor Series. Make a Intercontinental Championship matchup important for like WrestleMania. Or here's another idea to make important procedures. Maybe someone win the Royal Rumble instead of going for the WWE Championship or the Universal Championship. Let them fight the Intercontinental Championship or the United States Championship at the main event of WrestleMania. Just think about it. An Intercontinental Championship match or a United States Championship match or a Tag Team Championship match. Imagine that main eventing WrestleMania. Bro, the prestige of that title would be through the damn roof. Why? Because it main evented the biggest show of the damn year. And we need more stuff like that. We need to make these mid-card and tag team championships prestigious again. We need to make them prestigious because it shows who is a main event player and who's not. Okay, you showcase way more talent. Just these titles need to be important again. They really need to be important again. That's all I gotta say on that. Next up on my list, creative feedback from the fans. So when we give you constructive criticism, or if we basically want you guys to, like, when we tell you what we want, like, we expect you to do it. Like, we're giving you constructive criticism. We're giving, and you need to listen to the fans. Because like I said throughout this video, we are the people that give you money. We are the people that keep the wheels turning for WWE. So that's why listening to the fans is important. Okay? Because yes, there may be some people who complain just to complain. But that ain't the whole damn community. Okay? I know for damn sure that ain't the whole wrestling community. Okay? Listen to the fans. Listen to the criticism. Listen to what people want. Okay? If you just listen to the fans, and I promise you, a lot more people will come back. Why? Because when you listen to us and listen to our criticism, then it's going to translate to better wrestling, and it will translate to us as the WWE Universe building our trust back. Okay? So that is a must. Listen to the fans. Okay? Next up, showcase as many people as possible and make as many superstars important as possible. I've been saying this throughout this video. I don't have to repeat myself. It literally says it literally says it itself. Showcase as many people as possible and make as many superstars important as possible. That's all I gotta say on that. Next up, save important matchups and important moments for pay-per-views. Okay, I've been seeing matches happening. The matches that are supposed to be happening for the pay-per-view happen on a Raw or on a SmackDown. Why? Save it for the pay-per-view, because if you just have the match on free television, then what's the point of buying the pay-per-view? What's the point of seeing the pay-per-view? You're already seeing the damn match. And it goes for before the pay-per-view and after the pay-per-view. Because after the pay-per-view, it's even worse. Because after they just had a championship match, WWE does the same matchup with the championship on the line and literally have the same match from the pay-per-view the night prior. Then what's the point of watching the pay-per-view if you're going to give us the same shit again on free television? You basically waste our time with the pay-per-view. You basically waste our time. Save important matchups for the pay-per-views. Okay? Just save it. Okay? Be patient. I know you want them ratings. Okay? And I know you're desperate. But trust me, save the damn matches for the pay-per-views. And only have the matches. Only have the important matches at the pay-per-view. Okay? And don't just have the same matchup again on the next night with the same shit. Like, save the matchups, save the important matchups for the pay-per-view. Okay? Save it for the pay-per-view. Okay. Next up to my list. No more scripted promos. Okay? Like I said many times throughout this video. Okay? Let the superstars be themselves. Give them a narrative and let them speak that narrative. Okay? Let them be themselves. Okay? No more scripted promos. That needs to die. Scripted promos are fucking cringe-worthy. They are cringe-worthy. Now, there's some people that make it work, but those are people that are masters on the mic. Not every superstar is a master on the mic. Okay? No more scripted promos. Let them be themselves. Let them be themselves. Because if you let them be themselves, we as fans can be more connected with the character because we can relate to them. Because they're saying what they feel. They're not holding anything back. And they're not acting, they're not sounding ridiculous and formulaic in the process. Okay? Scripted promos need to die. Okay? No more scripted promos. Those shouldn't exist in professional wrestling, period. Okay? Maybe it was okay in the past because of kayfabe and all that. Times has changed. Okay? Let them be themselves. No more scripted promos. AEW's not doing it. New Japan Pro Wrestling's not doing it. Ring of Honor's not doing it. Impact's not doing it. Okay? If these companies are not doing it, WWE shouldn't either. Stop it with the scripted promos. They need to die. Okay. Next up, make WWE TV 14. PG is not working. Like, here's the thing with TV 14 is more realistic, right? Like, here's the thing with professional wrestling. Okay, it's supposed to be a competitive sport. It's supposed to be personal. It's supposed to be intense. It's supposed to be important. And that's what makes professional wrestling so special. Is because of that fine line between fiction and reality. Okay? With PG, these WWE superstars are acting like fucking cartoon characters. Most of them are acting like cartoon characters. And I don't want wrestlers to be portrayed as cartoon characters. I want them to be portrayed as wrestlers. I want them to be portrayed as them up to a 10. Now, there's certain examples like The Undertaker, that Bray Wyatt, like there's no mind having a supernatural character. Or like you can even have a comedy character. I love comedy characters. But let them be themselves. Okay? But here's a huge benefit of making WWE like TV 14 again. Because number one, like it it makes us more intrigued into the storylines because we can relate to the characters that are involved in the storylines and we can relate to the storylines in general. Okay? More superstars can act like themselves. Okay? And when they act like themselves, more than likely they will be successful. Okay? Another thing why TV 14 can be amazing because imagine you're in a heated rivalry, right? Like like curse words. Curse words. Now, if you say too much curse words, then it's gonna be ridiculous. Like, come on, really? Like, who the hell say a lot of curse words? Like me, I said a couple of curse words throughout this video, but I didn't say like it over and over and over again, like every 2 seconds. Okay? But put some curse words in there because if you do, it makes the storylines more realistic, more grounded, and it shows us that these two men hate each other. Like instead of, oh man, I hate you. You have been making my life a living hell. I'm going to beat you up. Yeah, I'm gonna beat you up. It like okay. I'm gonna do like a little promo real quick, and I'm gonna do one with with PG logic, and I'm gonna do with TV 14 logic. Okay, I'm gonna do the PG one first. Chris Jericho, you have been making my life a living hell. You've been attacking me for the last couple weeks. You've been trying to frame me. You've been trying to end my career. I I despise you and I hate you. And at the pay-per-view, I am going to end you. Okay? And here's the TV 14 logic. Okay? Jericho! Jericho! You have been making my life a living hell. You have been framing me and you have been trying to end my career. Been trying to end my career. So I am going to beat the living shit out of you. You have been making my life a living hell. I can't even take this anymore. At the pay-per-view, I am going to kick your ass and make you my bitch. See you at the pay-per-view. Like, don't get me wrong, like promos can be intense as PG as well. But to show like that heated intent, like to show like that can make a personal storyline to like the next level. If you can just let them be themselves, let them curse a little bit. Because when people hate each other, they curse a little bit. Okay, not a lot, but they curse a little bit. Okay? So like, and do some stuff that you can't normally do with PG. Like, for example, like if you want to make it interesting, like run a person, like remember the storyline with Stone Cold Steve Austin that he got ran over by Rikishi. Well, we didn't know that at the time, but he got ran over. Do you really think that would slide in the PG era? Someone getting run over? No, it wouldn't. But it made for a very good storyline back in the day. People were confused, and literally they kept the narrative on for the entire year because it was something so shocking. It was something so unexpected, but something so grounded and realistic that people can relate to the storyline. People can relate to what Stone Cold is feeling. Okay? Like people are more interested in the storylines. And that's what TV 14 has the advantage over PG. You get more grounded, realistic, sometimes hardcore and interesting storylines that are grounded and makes us relate to the superstars more and make us interested in the storylines more. And I feel like we haven't been seeing that in the PG era. Yes, there has been a storyline here or there. But like, come on, man. You gotta be a little bit edgy, a little bit, like at least once in a while. Like you could be TV 14 and you don't have to be edgy at all. You don't have to be edgy at all. But like sometimes you have to be creative. Sometimes you want to like step over the edge. Sometimes you gotta be a little bit controversial. Like for example, the Jeff Hardy, like SmackDown. I believe it was like a couple months ago. Literally, the opening to SmackDown. Remember the opening to SmackDown where Jeff Hardy like got arrested because he got framed for running over Drew Gulak. Remember that? Remember that opening? That made me interested for the entire show. You know why? Because it was unexpected. I didn't see it coming. It was realistic. It was grounded. It had a complex narrative, and it made us interested. It stirred up the pot. It showed us something different and something unexpected, and it gets us more interested. Like throughout my entire mind, throughout the entire episode of SmackDown, did like Jeff Hardy really do it? Like he kept saying that he didn't do it, but did he relapse? Did he really get framed? Was this all a setup? If this was a setup, how did this person do it so well? How did he escape? Like all these like these storylines like that, openings like that, segments like that really makes you think, really makes you interested in these storylines, makes you interested in promos and rivalries and even the characters themselves. Okay. And I feel like TV 14 has that edge over PG because of the stuff that I said. It gives us complex narratives. It gives us amazing promos. It's debatable that you can also have great promos with PG, but you get more with like TV 14. Like it gives us unexpected, grounded segments. Like it gives us situations that are really grounded and realistic, that really makes us relate to the characters and the storyline more. So, with those reasons alone, that's why we need to make WWE TV 14 again. So, the next one, matter of fact, the last one is to give them an off season. Now, here's why an off season would be great for WWE, especially right now. First of all, we're in the midst of the pandemic. Okay. So literally wrestling right now is kind of a risk in a way. But like even with fans, but just imagine. So after WrestleMania, after WrestleMania, for like 2 months of just breaks, 2 months of 2 months of superstars relaxing their bodies, making sure all of them are 100% for when we do come back to TV. Like you get a lot of benefits for having an off season. First of all, the superstars are happy because they get a break. They get a break. Okay, from all the wrestling, like all the pain that they go through and all the sacrifices that they have to make because like they have to miss birthday parties and like sports events and some of these superstars rarely get to see their families. Okay? Like with the off season, superstars are happy because they get to hang out with their family. Okay, they get to do other things other than wrestling. They get to have some of those moments, like having like seeing like their baby born, or having actually participating in a kid's birthday party, or having a vacation, or like all of that. The superstars are happy, and plus they are recovering from all the wrestling. Okay. Next up, the fans. The fans of anticipation. Imagine not having any wrestling at all for 2 to 3 months. We're gonna miss it because what are we gonna do in our spare time? Like we could watch other shows and stuff like that, but fans are going to miss professional wrestling. Like fans are going to like hardcore professional wrestling fans are going to be like, man, I miss watching Monday Night Raw every Monday and like SmackDown every Friday and NXT every Wednesday. Man, like this all like I can't wait till they come back on TV and you get that anticipation. And once they do come back, everyone's excited. Everyone's excited because you like there was 3 months of nothing, no professional wrestling. And the fact that professional wrestling is back on TV, the thing that they love is back on TV, bro. The hype around wrestling coming back to TV after like 4 months of an off season, that would be amazing. So the superstars would be happy. The fan anticipation, the hype would be real. Like you get much better wrestling. Like imagine like we get like don't get me wrong, we get great wrestling now like without an off season. But imagine superstars, all of the superstars being 100% and then coming back from an off season and starting to wrestle again. Bro, the quality of wrestling would be amazing because everyone's already rested, everyone already relaxed, all the bruises, all everything that they had during wrestling, that's all healed up. So the quality of wrestling, at least for the first couple months, would be incredible. Okay, so the superstars would be happy. The the fan anticipation, the hype would be real. The quality of wrestling would be amazing. It's like I've got so many other examples on why an off season would be great. Okay, but those are three main examples that I have. But like, yeah. So that was my video on why WWE sucks as a company right now, and of course, part two on how to save it, on how to save and how to make WWE better. So, I thank for all the people that stayed on and watch. Thank you so much for watching. I am extremely appreciated. I get it's like 10 for the people that are like in the southeast coast. I guess like 10 o'clock right now. You guys are like tired, but all the people that are with me throughout this hour-long video, almost 2 hours. So you can say that this was a little podcast. So yeah. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I hope this inspires you to give constructive criticism and make videos like this. Like do what I'm doing and what other YouTubers are doing and make your voice heard and help WWE like I'm doing right now. Help WWE, give them constructive criticism, call them out on their shit, and help them on how they can become better. Okay, I encourage you. I hope you are inspired. I'm encouraging you to do it. And if you don't want to make YouTube videos, you can still give constructive criticism by going to Twitter. You can still help them out by going to Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. But make sure your voice is heard. Okay? More people need to do stuff like this. Because because we need people like me, like Alex, and we need people like you guys that want WWE to be better, that wants professional wrestling to be better. So I encourage you. I encourage you. Make videos, or if not, make a tweet or a Facebook post on how to make WWE better and help WWE out. Give them constructive criticism because eventually they're going to have to listen to us. And I think they have been doing that lately. For the last like 2 or 3 weeks, I think they have been listening to us for like the Roman heel turn or like the pushing Apollo, just stuff like that. I felt like they have been half-assing it a little bit, but they have been starting to listen to us again. Okay? But we need to keep giving them criticism. We need to still call them out on their bullshit. We need to still try to help them. Okay? Because WWE is still not in a good state right now. And if we want WWE to go back to the glory days, if we want professional wrestling to go back to the glory days, to the mainstream media, to pop culture, then we need to make sure that our voice is heard. We need to make WWE great again. Okay? And keep up with the constructive criticism. Keep up on telling them on what to do to help save their company. And don't be afraid to call out on their bullshit. Don't be afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid at all. WWE might hate me by making this video, but I don't care. I'm calling them out. And I'm not doing this because I hate WWE. It is because of WWE it's because of WWE that I even became a wrestling fan in the first place. Okay? It is because of WWE that I love professional wrestling as a whole. And I don't want the thing that I love to die. So again, I'm not doing this just to hate WWE, but I'm doing this to try to make WWE better, to make WWE great again. Okay? So keep it up with the constructive criticisms. Keep it up with the feedback and all that, because eventually they're gonna have to listen to us. They're gonna have to listen to us, and if they don't, then they're gonna lose their money. Their money is gonna run dry, and their company is gonna run out of business, and that's their fault. Why? Because they didn't listen to us. So again, keep it up with the constructive criticism. Keep it up with the feedback. And don't be afraid to call out on their bullshit. And there's going to be some people that say, oh my God, why are you complaining? Why are you saying this is bad? Okay? Everyone's entitled to their own opinions. Okay? Everyone's entitled. Okay? But do not hesitate. Do not be afraid to show your opinion. Okay? Some people will agree with your opinion, and some people may disagree with your opinion. But don't be afraid to have an opinion. Okay? Because at the end of the day, collectively as a wrestling community, we all want wrestling to be satisfying for all of us. For all of us. So that's all I got to say. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys like this, leave a like, leave a comment, and hope you subscribe. And don't forget to click the bell button. And thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. And yeah, if you have any feedback for me on what I can do differently with this video, on how to make these videos better, just tell me in the comment section. And I want to know in the comment section, like, what would you do? Like what would you do to make WWE better again? Or do you want WWE to stay the same as it is right now? Like, I don't know why you want it, but like I said, like, why? I want to know in the comment section. Would you want to keep WWE is right now, or if you don't, what changes would you make to make WWE great again? I'm interested in what you say, and just one thing before I leave in the comment section. This channel is a you can say whatever you want. This is an opinion. Like, this is opinion free. I don't want anyone to judge anyone of their opinions. Okay? Don't judge anyone. Their opinions is their opinions, and they have a right to express it. Okay? You can agree with them or you can disagree with them. Okay? But don't be mean to each other. Don't be assholes to each other. The world is already a bad place that it is. Okay? The wrestling community is already toxic as it is. Okay? I don't want to see that in my comment section. Please. Everyone be nice to one another. Okay? Everyone has an opinion, and don't be afraid to share your opinion. I won't judge, and for all the other people, please don't judge either. Please. Okay? They have a right to an opinion, and they can say their opinion. You can agree with it, or you can disagree with it, but don't be an asshole about it. Okay? I love you all. Stay safe, and thank you all for watching. Good night, everyone.